I'm H, and you're watching HTG Football. Today, we got a story about Alen Halilovic. Alen Halilovic was 17, playing for Barcelona. He was said to be the next Croatian Messi, but now, at the age of 27, he is playing for Fortuna Sittard. This is a story of how he changed 12 clubs in his career, and is still hoping to achieve his dreams. Let me take you back to the start. It's 2012, and Alen Halilovic impressed every scout in Europe by playing for Dinamo Zagreb in the Young Champions League. A year later, he continued having great appearances in the top flight of Croatian football, where he showed flair and intelligence by playing consistently as a member of the starting 11, scoring 5 goals and 1 assist. Now, it's 2014. And at the age of 17, Halilovic is on top of the world. He is the hottest prospect on the market, which earned him a $5 million deal to Barcelona. And because he showed such promise and there was such a big hype around him, Barcelona actually gave him a 5-year contract and the pinky promise that he will play for Barca's first team in the next year. But this year, he will go down to Barcelona B to work on his craft. And at that point, he had a 95 potential on FIFA. I mean, thinking about that now is just mad. At the start of his Barcelona career, he impressed the coaches by putting in great performances in his first 15 games for Barça B, scoring 3 goals and 1 assist. Unfortunately, he didn't keep up with that pace, and in the other 14 games of that season, he scored only once, which made Barça reconsider fulfilling that pinky promise they gave him just a year ago. So instead of a dream debut with Messi, Croatian Messi went on loan to Sporting Gijon. Halilovic started strong, eager to prove that he really did deserve that 5-year contract that he got from Barcelona. In his first 9 games, he had 3 assists and scored 2 goals against Malaga and Espanyol. This was the turning point for Halilovic. Had this form continued throughout his stay at Sporting Gijon, he could have been a Barcelona starter next year, and history would look a lot different. But instead, what followed was a truly unremarkable 2 goals and 1 assist in 25 games. Barcelona decided they seen enough. They had no more patience for poor Croatian Messi. So Barcelona took their chance at cashing in on Halilovic and sold him to Bayern for 5 million euros, which was a great deal for them because, well, they got their money back. He would only play 6 games during his stay for the German side, as he was quickly sent on loan back to Spain. This time, he went to Las Palmas, where over the next season and a half, he played 39 games, scored twice, and had 4 assists. During that time in Las Palmas, he also suffered an ankle injury, which put him out of action for like 3 months, but he did come back from the injury and scored those 2 goals. Now, an important thing to remember is that at this point, he's still 21, and he has plenty of time to fulfill his potential that he showed in the Young Champions League playing for Dinamo Zagreb. And there was still a lot of teams that thought that they could be the solution to Alen Halilovic's problems. They saw him as a player that had great potential but no hard work and an attitude problem. So, that in mind, AC Milan signed him for free from Hamburg. And at that time, that was still considered a steal because, yes, they knew that he had attitude issues and there were some fiascos, talks of prostitution, but we're not going into that side of the story. Halilovic played only 3 games for AC Milan. All 3 of those were in the Europa League group stage, where he played against Dudelange and Olympiacos. It's also worth noting that Halilovic never established himself in the Croatian national team. His most recent match for the Croatian national team came in 2019 when he played in a friendly against Tunisia, back to his time at AC Milan. Basically, just like in Barca, he was able to show flashes of brilliance, which was enough to convince AC Milan that they really shouldn't sell him, but there was no point in keeping him in the team because he simply wasn't good enough. So they decided to loan him out. In his first loan, he went to Belgium, where he played 14 games for Standard Liège and just wasn't able to make any sort of an impact for the team. What followed was another loan, this time to Journeyman in the Netherlands, where he actually had a decent season, having 8 goal contributions in 26 games. Of those 8, he scored 3 goals and had 5 assists. But his loan ended and it just wasn't enough to convince Milan to give him another contract. So Halilovic was now a free agent. He spent the next month and a half searching for a new club. After playing in Spain, Germany, Italy, Belgium, and the Netherlands, he decided it was finally time to go to the island where it all began. He was revealed as a new Birmingham City player, and the Blues were hoping he could be a great addition to the squad, and that they could be the ones to solve Halilovic's attitude problem. Oh boy, were they wrong. He played 17 games for Birmingham City, scoring only once, which again wasn't enough to get his contract renewed, and was back on the market. His next victim was Reading. But to be fair to Halilovic, at the start of his time at Reading, he actually played good, and in his first 5 games he scored twice and had 1 assist. But fate simply wasn't on Halilovic's side. He suffered an injury that put him out for the rest of that season, and Reading couldn't be convinced to give him a contract extension based on those first 5 games, no matter the 3 goal contributions in those 5 games. So, having conquered 4 of the biggest nations in football, Halilovic was ready to come home and recover from his injury. When he came back to Croatia, the Rijeka coaches said that he was serious out of shape. He played 11 games for the Croatian side, scoring only once. Surprisingly, even Rijeka weren't convinced at his ability and decided to let him go. So Halilovic was left with no club as a free agent again. After 6 months of looking for his next prey, he found luck in Fortuna Sittard from the Dutch First Division. Recently, he actually scored in his first game for the club in a friendly match against Millwall, but still counts. And that pretty much brings us to today. Halilovic definitely had a memorable career, which saw him move around the continent as clubs were convinced that they have the right environment for Halilovic to blossom. But time and time again, they were proven wrong. Do you think his spell at Fortuna Sittard will go any different? I'm not so convinced. If the coaches at Barcelona or Milan couldn't get the potential out of him and make him a hard worker, then there's little to no chance of that happening at the age of 27. I would love to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you liked the video and would like to see more, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Do the